Hey guys, John Sullivan, Coast to Coast Properties here with you again. I'm going to show you now how to find or take care of buyer leads, follow up on buyer leads in the sense of either by phone or by email. Most of the buyer leads are coming in will probably be having a phone number associated with them, but there could be some with just emails coming through the website or even just an email itself. So the idea is to get both pieces of contact information, the phone and the email. The phone is of utmost importance, number one, because that's how we get a hold of people and talk to them quickly and right now. There's two ways to look at these things. First of all, you can look at it through the schedule. And you can also look at it through here's the schedule, so you can see all the days and everything that's going to be followed up on. You can check it out, by clicking on one of these. If you click on 17 or more, it's going to show you everything that's scheduled for the day. Okay, so that being said, if you click on one of these, it says follow up by phone. This would be the same as going through the schedule at the bottom. So if you just scroll to the bottom of the dashboard, you would have the same list. It'll just be by the day. This way you can pick it off on the calendar day. If you notice, this is a buyer follow-up because there's a buyer right down here, a buyer name, but it's follow-up by phone. Call this buyer, fill out the C2C buyer qualification sheet. We'll try to put more information in FreedomSoft to make sure that that's just all we need in there. What does he want? That's the big bottom line, all right? Get an email address if you can get one, and then send him if you have an email address, send him the buyer email series 1, 2, and 3. If you don't have a buyer email address for him, get it and start doing that. What we're going to do when we come here to get this task is, it won't say edit, it'll just say, complete the task. You click on Klein as the buyer, it will pull him up in Dennis Klein in his buyer profile. You'll see here we have Dennis Klein, the phone number. It doesn't have a source. It probably was from a direct mail campaign, but I'm not sure. It really doesn't matter if we don't have it right now. You should know that this is the company he works for. I've rated this buyer in the past as just 1 star, not spectacular, but we haven't talked to him again in a while, so we should probably talk to him. He has bought a property for cash. He was a cash buyer, I believe, pulled out of FreedomSoft. If you talk to him, again, you're going to phone him. This is where you would add in the communication log, you would add in here, called buyer and such date, right? So, let's say phone call to buyer, and then you should have the date in there, which would be today, 2/15/11. Messed that date up there a little bit, 2/15/11, and that's all you need to do. The idea here is, again, to know that we've talked to this buyer and the information's there. You should see the communication log update after FreedomSoft goes through its whole resetting here, and you'll see down here call buyer. The next thing I want you to do is, after you call the buyer, if you left a voicemail, put left a voicemail. I think the idea here is that you talked to him or you made an attempt. If you talk to him on the phone, even better. Fill this out. If you didn't talk to him on the phone, you definitely need to put a task in here to follow up the next day if you left a voicemail or anything else for that matter. So you'll want to click on task. If you talk to him and you didn't get the information you were looking for, you're going to need to follow up with him again. And you will put in here task, add a task, and it will be again follow up on phone. So you'll do the same thing again, follow up. Make sure you pick up follow up phone, and you place in here what you want in the description and the date, okay, and save and close it. I'm not going to do it on this one because we already have that set up to happen for 2 days. I set up most phone follow-ups for the start date and then 1 day away, so that way it's a follow-up the second day. If the second day you don't get a hold of them and you open the task and see that the end date is the date you're on, you need to add a task, okay? That's pretty much it for following up with a buyer through this. What you will want to do is make sure you get the information for the buyer as updated as you can, and again, get this email in here, and when we get this email, we'll add a task. If the email was in here, we would add a task to, like we did with the sellers, to follow up by email, okay? So you'd go in here, again, you would add a task. even if you've already followed up by phone, you should follow up by email. And that way you get everybody through the first round of autoresponders, those first 3 pre-typed out emails already that go out. After you, again, have added the other task of follow-up by email, and you sent the email for the day because you would have a task the next day, you would come in here again to the communication log and you would add sent buyer email number 1 under this area right here. That's it. The idea here is every buyer and seller should have a phone contact and an email contact, and we should be getting in touch with them by either. The phone is the most important, the email would be second, but both are very important, and we should have both pieces of contact information from them. Once we have them, we need to make sure that they are accepting our emails. They've opted in through FreedomSoft. So again, down at the bottom when you have an email, that box shows up that says, do you want to opt in? We need to make sure we're following up with that and cleaning up on those when we have the email. And once they've opted in, they'll obviously start getting our autoresponders, and then they'll get our monthly newsletter, some of our blog posts, whatever else we send out to them via the list. That's it for this video. If you got any questions, give me a call and let me know. Thanks for watching.